What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. I'm gonna do another Mancera fragrance review. Now, you might be wondering, Brian, what's up? You're up with Mancera now? Well, this particular one grabbed my attention, and just for the record, this is only my third Mancera fragrance. I'm gonna talk about Melody of the Sun. Now, this fragrance, Melody of the Sun by Mancera, was released in 2022. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is only my third one. And this is the beautiful box, I must say. All golden, shiny, fancy. That's the batch code if you're wondering. That's a 2022 batch, I believe. And that's about it. Nothing super fancy. Of course, your Mancera bottles come in a fox leather or artificial leather pouch, which is a nice touch, I must say. And the bottle design is really interesting, particularly the color shade. Look at this. It goes from golden, somewhere in between it kind of like becomes brownish, almost like coffee, and then it goes transparent. So it's a beautiful gradient, I must say. That's your Mancera Melody of the Sun bottle. And just for the record again, it's a magnetic cap, right? It's not one of your twist screw-on caps. So enough chit-chat with the presentation. Let's talk about the notes. I'm going to read the notes directly from the Mancera website. So on the top, you have Calabrian lemon, grapefruit, pear, blackcurrant, lavender, and cardamom. In the mids, you have green tea, jasmine, osmanthus, cedarwood, and sunflower. Interesting stuff. I've never smelled a sunflower. Let me know if you've smelled it. I don't know what it might smell like. Yeah, maybe next time when I go to Home Depot, maybe I should get a whiff. Unless people think I've turned into a bee or something. And finally, on the base, you have precious amber, mate, whatever you call it. I guess it's mate. And powdery musk. Now, I'm going to tell you something really interesting. Mancera, Melody of the Sun. Up front, I'll tell you something. It's a beast mode fragrance. Great and phenomenal longevity. Number two, this thing is really smooth. Has absolutely no sharp edges. A lot of people complain. I see people complaining, hey, I don't like Mancera. They're like a chemical bomb, stuff like that. Well, this one's not. At least to my nose, it's not. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and they have certified that this is not a chemical bomb. This is like not a chemical mess, but it's a beautiful mixture. It's very well blended. And I'll tell you something even more interesting. There's one particular fragrance I was trying to figure out while I was wearing this, and this thing was developing, opening up, and I was like, there's something else that smells very close to this one. What is it? What is it? I finally figured it out. Stick around. You don't want to miss that riddle, part of the riddle. So this particular fragrance, Melody of the Sun, when I first sprayed this is like, let me just do a little one single spray. Check out that sprayer too, atomizer, beautiful stuff. Like it's one of those pressurized one. So when you first spray this fragrance, the opening is a beautiful citrus combination. Now, you have noticed how I said Calabrian lemon, grapefruit, pear, blackcurrant, lavender, and cardamom. You will not pick up citruses separately. Like it works in conjunction. It's not separate. Like you get grapefruit separately and the Calabrian lemon separately. It works in conjunction. It's a bit more on the sweeter side because of the presence of blackcurrant adds, and there's the presence of fruitiness to it, which is very enjoyable. And trust me, it's very juicy. Like as I'm smelling this thing is making my mouth water. And if you will notice the shine, because of just one small single spray, this is a very high concentration oil and it has great projection power. Trust me on this one. Look at this. Beautiful stuff. Love it. Now the cardamom you will pick up. You will pick it up as like a tiny tad bit of like a mentally kind of vibe, but that's very, very nominal. But you will feel that spicy cardamom coming through. It's very mild. It's not super loud, not super prominent, but you will feel the spiciness over here. Now, of course, the pear and the blackcurrant kind of adds to the juiciness and the fruitiness of this opening. Beautiful stuff. Trust me on this. Drying down, this fragrance has this wonderful florals. In my first impression video, I did mention that time I did not look into the notes. I was just totally going in blind, and I did say it kind of feels there's some kind of a white floral. Well, I guess it's the jasmine, which was the white floral, because the jasmine kind of adds to that narcotic kind of feel, which is like an addictive but a floral kind of vibe. It's not too feminine. This is what was very interesting. Like the notes, when I first looked it up, kind of felt feminine to me. And if you know me personally, I will not buy or use something that's super uber feminine. Of course, this is very much in balance. It's perfectly, I would say it's perfectly unisex. Now the florals over here kind of adds to the depth and the dimensions of this dry down. You see there's the presence of green tea, which adds to this beautiful, like a very mild green note, with the presence of osmanthus and the jasmine adding to floral nuances, which is beautiful. The juiciness never goes away. And slowly, as this fragrance is drying down, the presence of cedarwood will kind of add to the woodiness a tad bit, tiny bit of darkness, and tiny bit of like a creamy, woody kind of vibe, along with a tiny bit of smokiness. Like not too prominent, but my nose picks up because like I've been using so many different fragrances throughout the years. So, like I pick it up, but you might not. So it's easy to miss. But over here, the woodiness is like more on the creamier side as opposed to like the dry cedarwood vibe. Drying down, this fragrance has amber, mate, and powdery musk. Now this is where things get interesting. At this point, and this is I'm talking about somewhere around 6 to 8 hours point mark, this is where I found that Melody of the Sun kind of reminded me of some other fragrance, and I was struggling like, which one is it? I know I have this fragrance in my collection, but which one was it? You guys ready? Don't be shocked. It was Lattafa's Ajwad. This fragrance. The fruity, jammy, rose kind of vibe. Of course, there's no rose on this one, but there's kind of like a powdery, like the musk and the sweetness just picks up. Now, this fragrance, when you first spray it, it's more on the fruity side, and then slowly it becomes like an effervescent, sweeter fragrance. Now, also, there's the presence of powdery musk, so I believe it's the powderiness that's coming off as like an effervescent feel. So it's not completely powdery as it's drying down. This one, somewhere towards the end, kind of starts smelling like this one. And I bought this one first. I don't know like if this one came out first or this one. Guys, do your research, please. But I bought this one first way back. And then I finally got this one recently. Been using this, and this is what I found out. So, of course, this one is not as sweet as this one, but this is like on the moderate to moderate high, I would say, because in my first impression I said moderate to moderate low on the sweet scale. But this one I found later on, like the sweetness picks up. It's not super sweet, I must say that. Be sure about that. It's not like a jammy sweet thing, but it's more on the effervescent, fruity, and a beautiful, clean, musky dry down. It's like a powdery, clean musk. That's the kind of vibe you get. Longevity on this one is like, I was like really shocked, because so far I kept on hearing about Mancera performance. Of course, with red tobacco I had that monster performance, but this one, as a freshie, lasts well beyond 10 to 12 hours, and that's with only 4 to 5 sprays. I did not go with way too much throughout the days because it might become cloying, like I said, because it turns into something sweet, powdery, effervescent feel. So this thing might become very cloying if you overspray. So you don't want that. You don't want to choke people. You don't want to give people a bad vibe. I understand a lot of you say, yeah, wear whatever you want, don't care about people. But hey, listen, if you're in an office setting, people come and go around you, you don't want to ruin their mood. You don't know what the other person's going through. I mean, your fragrance could just trigger a whole different kind of reaction for them. I don't want to do that, right? Let's keep things pleasant. We wear fragrances for pleasantries. We wear fragrance to make things pleasant for myself and, of course, for the others around me. So, yeah, of course, why offend people when you can just control it, right? So, 4 to 5 sprays, I say go 6 to 8 if it's like super wide open space, but this thing is very potent, has great longevity. Projection is at least 2 to 3 hours. Super, super loud. And it goes well beyond your arm's length. That was my honest and humble take on Mancera's Melody of the Sun, a 2022 release. It's not talked about so much. In case you want to see the box again, this is what the box looks like. That's the bottle. And of course, your pouch. So, guys, what are your thoughts? Have you tried Mancera Melody of the Sun? Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? What's your experience? Any stories that you want to share with any other fragrance? Make sure you join in with the conversation. Go ahead in the comments, type out of your heart, and I will be very happy to read them and respond to your comments. And of course, if you're not subscribed, you don't want to miss giveaways when I do so, just go ahead and subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like contents like these. I really appreciate all your love and support you have shown to my channel and my works. I really appreciate it. Humble thanks and gratefulness towards all of my viewers. Until the next one, guys, please take care, stay safe, and all the best.